had $300+ billion in drug money. I mean, you know, it's $500 billion a year. And you really think some guys in a cave in Afghanistan are running it, or your local crack house is running that? No, it's admitted. It's the government and the big banks. And so these scanners are to make sure they can carry out their crimes. Or if somebody saw the government snatching your kid because a Saudi Arabian wants them or something, it's one of the big, buyers of them. Well, they'll be able to tell, this guy saw it. Just go ahead and send a hit team to that neighbor's house. He saw us with our snatch team. So these are so they can carry out robbing and murder and evil against us. So the equivalent of Stalin, Hitler, and Mao rolled into one now has this Pentagon. Oh, and then they lie and say in this piece that this was developed in Iraq and Afghanistan. MIT bragged years ago, over a decade ago. This was all tested in the U.S. 15 years ago from Indiana to Texas on the highways, deployed and then used in Afghanistan and Iraq, and is now being augmented here. And they admit it. I mean, this is a military grid against us, okay? Military doesn't belong to us. It's there to ship in cocaine and heroin and ship out little kids. Here's the clip.
In Maryland, they've even started taking pictures of license plates.
What are we doing here?
The system we're using has 2 cameras. It's constantly taking pictures, observing the tags, allowing the system to record them, and check them against the database.
Suspended or revoked registration.
This technology, used by U.S. military forces on the streets of Baghdad, has migrated to the streets of Baltimore.
With the license plate reader system, if we were to get that information, we can then go into the system and see where else this car has been.
The software with the system, when it sees what it thinks is a license plate, it will read it using OCR, optical character recognition, and make a cross-check against a database we're running.
Surveillance cameras at vital institutions are also photographing license plates and adding them to the database.
Maybe nobody called it in when they were at Fort Detrick or Aberdeen Proving Ground or at Bolling Air Force Base. But the license plate readers will tell us they were there and when they were there and when they passed through. That's a pattern. That's something we'd want to know about.
And they've gone one step further. Smile. Cameras are everywhere.
We are very big on CCTV. We believe that it is a force multiplier, that it is an effective way not only to provide greater security in open spaces,
but to get the narcotics in.
Evidence Times Square, but also it's a much more effective way to guard approaches to tunnels, bridges, and other sorts of static targets.
Oh, yeah.
One of 3 new stories next time on Frontline. Watch online or on air beginning January 18th.
Okay. So I guess that starts today. Now, in all these shows in the last decade where they show you, oh, Florida town, everyone that goes in has their plates run by the cameras. Or, oh, in a British town, everybody that comes in. You notice that they drive around and they're seeing stolen cars, you name it, and they're not stopping them. In fact, when your car gets stolen, you can't even get the police to respond. These things are to control the people. And they all hook into the threat fusion centers, and it's to learn your associations. See, the Stasi would put a radioactive isotope on the floors of apartments to track people by their footprints to learn who was meeting and what was going on. Now they just track you over your iPhone, your Android. They track you by satellite. They track you by your license plate. And they're total criminals that are doing it.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, Dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today, it seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. Hi folks, this is Alex Jones and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs Generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs Generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs Generator. Very easy to follow step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs Generator. That's www.silverlungs.com.
Can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later, gotta cut you down.
We had Phyllis Schlafly set up for the show, and we just got her on the phone during another interview, so they got their time zones mixed up. She's going to be joining us here in about 15 minutes. And Dr. Wakefield, we can just get him on about 10 after coming up in the next segment of the next hour, because I want some time with her to go over this Fox headline from yesterday. Tea Party faces challenges as GOP gains stronger control. And it just goes into how the big mainline GOP is going right back to their regular globalist arrogance. What do you expect? So we'll talk to the founder and head of the Eagle Forum coming up if that pans out. But I've had her on over the years a few times. If this doesn't pan out today, we'll just set her up for a full hour in the near future. I want to continue with what I was just saying and going over. You know, if that sounds hardcore to you, where I'm talking about our government, our military, bringing in narcotics, it's in plain view. They were caught in Vietnam. They've been caught over and over again in the 1980s and 90s. There's been congressional hearings on it. This isn't low-level military men and women who are compartmentalized and most of them doing important jobs. It's that at the top and under the national security umbrella, NATO is on record, Interpol is on record, the Pentagon, every major branch, the high-level brass in just total evil. And when you're in the business of killing people and breaking things, and when in the military, going back thousands of years, you might sacrifice 500 horsemen to lead out the main enemy force. And you give the order to the horsemen, the cavalry, men you even know, to go off and die. And so that attitude of human life being cheap or even worthless just permeates. So if DynCorp and Halliburton can make money, first on stupid teenage girls they trick and pick up and fly out of Central Asia, out of Eastern and Central Europe. Why not move on to little kids? And you can pull up Chicago Tribune, you can pull up BBC, UN, sex trafficking, DynCorp, Halliburton caught human trafficking, and you'll read, just as a footnote, oh, and of the 1 million+ children trafficked out of Europe every year, the UN estimates, it's the UN itself and these big contractors that are doing it. I mean, this is a big, big business. And it's just, that's the way it is. We're the good guys. Our president wears an American flag lapel. And see, these are the issues that the big mainline conservatives won't touch, the liberals won't touch. And I, for one, am just sick of it. Nobody is safe with these people running our society. No one's safe. Not your pension funds, not your health, not our future. I mean, these people have hated America from the beginning. They have done everything they can to tear down our culture, to dumb us down, to destroy our families, to turn us against each other. The global social engineers have bragged how they hated the Christian ethic, how they hated the family, how they wanted to get rid of it. And they didn't do it because they were offering something trendy and fun and enlightening and empowering. They did it because they wanted you to be isolated and weak. Even if you're an atheist, you know, the point is, it was the Christian Protestant pilgrim work ethic that wasn't perfect, but compared to every other culture in the world, produced unlimited technology, unlimited wealth. And now it's all gone. We don't have it anymore. We are a bunch of dumbed-down sloths, myself included, who've got to rediscover the spirit of liberty that empowered this country and made it so great. Not just because liberty is wonderful, but because tyranny is so horrible. This is a hot tyranny we're going into. There's been a cold war against our freedoms for a long time. But now you can see it. The war drums aren't over the hill. They're now right in amongst us. And this tyranny is unfolding around all of us each and every single day. I wanted to take a few minutes out before we get Phyllis Schlafly on to encourage listeners to realize that just because you've known about this for 30 years or 20 years or 5 years doesn't mean your friends and family do. But now they know something's wrong. They're awakening. Now is the time to reach out to people with films like The Obama Deception on DVD. Get it at Infowars.com. Make copies of it. Air it on your local access TV. Don't screw around. Jump through the hoops. Find other producers that are already got shows. Get them to air it. Do whatever it takes. Don't screw around. Get the job done. Even little towns, you'll reach hundreds and hundreds of people every time it airs. Big cities, hundreds of thousands. Because people are surfing the cable channels. They'll stop on something like The Obama Deception. A lot of folks are taking action. We're getting reports of big TV stations all over the country. People are buying time. They're not waiting for orders from headquarters. They're going to the sound of the guns. They're airing Endgame. They're airing Invisible Empire. They're airing What in the World Are They Spraying? It's not one of my films, but I hear it's airing. They're airing The Obama Deception. They're airing Fall of the Republic. It's having an effect. And keep doing it. Get Endgame. Get Invisible Empire. Get What in the World Are They Spraying with the chemtrails. Get The Obama Deception. We've got a deal still running where you can get 5 of my films. 5. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. 5 for $24.95. That's less than $5 a piece. Get them out to everybody. And that little amount of profit we make allows this operation to be funded. You're also always welcome to go to the online video bookstore shopping cart, and there's a donation button if that's the way you want to give right there to fund this operation. Also, all of our